Hello everyone, welcome to F1 2020. Today we're going to be doing just a short race here at Zandvoort in Lando Norris's McLaren, just because I thought it might be interesting to drive one of the tracks that we're not actually going to see this year, and of course we're driving Lando Norris's McLaren because Lando Norris. We are starting 6th after a one-shot qualifying, which went surprisingly well actually. And yeah, hopefully we can make up some places. And I'm just going to talk through what I think about this game because it's actually pretty interesting. I'm not usually an F1 fan, F1 game fan, I should say. I'm a big F1 in real life fan, but the games have never quite drawn me in, at least with a wheel. So this one's quite interesting. Anyway, let's get straight into the race. I can't be bothered changing the strategy, so let's just go for it. Right, oh, apparently my throttle makes me look up, that's interesting. Oh, that was a terrible start. And we're already getting overtaken. I say that, but we launch it up the inside of Albon there and kind of push him out the way. That was, I would call that a bit of a cheeky overtake there from me. I do apologise to Alex Albon, as he's a nice guy and he's always getting punted out of the way, but today he's been punted out of the way by me, so I kind of don't care. Zandvoort is one of those tracks that I never really expected to see Formula 1 cars around, but God, it's fun to drive in these things. Will it be good to race in? I mean, I guess we'll find out next year, but I'm not so sure it will be. You've got a lot of long, downforce heavy high-speed corners, which is where F1 cars really don't like to follow one another. So yeah, it'll definitely be interesting. Now we've got the difficulty of the AI on 85%, because I'm not very good at F1 games, and that will become apparent throughout this race, I am sure. So our goal is to just not be last. We managed to qualify 6th, which I think is quite a lot higher than our teammate. So maybe the AI are slightly too slow for us here, but oh well. It should be a fun race anyway. It lets us dice up at the front with some of the big boys. And Vettel. So yeah, F1 2020, what do I think of the game? Well, normally, as I said in the intro, I'm kind of not a fan of the F1 games with a wheel. I've always thought that they drive very strangely, and I've always thought that, oh god, I've always thought that it's really been a game that you've got to play with a controller. Now, I haven't driven this version with a controller, but I'm sure it's just as good as it always is. But the thing that I'm very happy to report is that this game drives beautifully with a wheel. It's not a massive difference from last year, but whatever they've done, they've just made it make more sense with a wheel. I feel so much more confident to be able to fling the car into corners, really send it on the brakes, which I never used to have the confidence to do as we lock up the inside front. Maybe we need to just move that brake bias back a touch. Oh god. So yeah, it's I'm just going to move that back. There we go, to 50%. It's still very much an F1 game, don't get me wrong. I mean, the cars still handle pretty similarly to last year as we massively balls up that long right-hander. It is very much F1 2019 plus one. but that +1 seems to have tipped it over from pretty fun game that I never want to touch to pretty fun game that I'm really enjoying driving. It is definitely not rFactor 2, don't get me wrong. There's not that much detail to the force feedback. Oh god, that was horrible. We're definitely going to get overtaken by Albon here. Although we do seem to have broken away from the pack, which is nice. I'm just going to let that happen. There's no point. Okay. I just don't want to hit him. They're very slow through turn 1, aren't they? Or do I just do that corner totally wrong? Is that the problem? I do seem to be taking a completely different line through some of those corners to the AI, so... although it seems to be working. I probably shouldn't be this far up in a McLaren, so... It's good to see. Obviously, with a harder difficulty, those sorts of things would be ironed out. I mean, the difficulty goes up to, I think, 120, and I'm down on 85. And I'm still having to, like, push. This might not look like impressive driving, but I'm trying quite hard here. We've got DRS, that took me by surprise. But it's that confidence to push that I never used to have, and it comes in two main areas for me. It's on the brakes. Whatever they've done to the brake model, or the way the force feedback responds to brake locking, or I don't know. I just have more confidence on the brakes. I feel like I can trail brake into corners. I feel like I can do that and ruin my front right. And then the second one, although you wouldn't believe it from my exit from turn 1 there, second one is on throttle. These modern F1 cars, one of the biggest issues with them is that they have a massive amount of torque compared to their weight. So when you're coming out of a slow corner, especially when you're in a low gear, the rear tyres rather, they can't do anything about it. Okay, oh no. I apologise for making all of these noises, but you have to understand that I'm concentrating very hard right now.
Some information on Vettel. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, Vettel has a mechanical problem, does he? Interesting. Still managed to catch Bottas though, so maybe Bottas has a problem as well. Oh no! I need to get that second to last corner right if I'm ever going to overtake anybody. Because from back here, I'm just too far back, especially when he's got the DRS off Vettel. There's nothing I can do from back here.
You'll be on the mediums.
Okay, I'm going soft mediums, am I? Interesting. Hopefully that'll work out. I'm definitely faster through that first sector. And it just nets me that slipstream up the hill. Which I can't really use, because there's nowhere to overtake there. That is a problem with this circuit, and I foresee it being potentially very boring. Oh no! Oh! I foresee it potentially being very boring to watch, because you're going to get a lot of, you know, like what's happened here, a faster car catching a slower car. In this case, Albon's caught Vettel, who's got a problem. We can't do anything about it because there's nowhere to overtake. I didn't want to overtake there. I was just trying not to hit him. I do still have a tendency to catch myself out with braking points. I am trying very hard, but there's something about these games that's always just slightly caught me off guard, and I don't know what it is, with a wheel at least. With a controller, I mean, I'm not good with a controller, but I'm much more comfortable. I turn more assists on, I guess that helps. And just kind of accept that I'm slow on a controller. Oh no! So there's an instant replay feature, and that works. Let's try not to do that this lap. That was better. Okay, I just want to get past Vettel here while he's struggling. There we go. That was better. With a bit of clean air, I can actually use my speed through that
We
section.
expect the grip levels to start falling away soon.
Yeah, the front grip, you can really feel the front grip start to drop away during a stint, which I do enjoy. The sort of strategy of the races in the F1 games is always obviously a big part of it, because it's F1. I mean, tyre strategy is a big part of the races in real life as well. So being able to sort of simulate that in the game is great. And yeah, I never thought that was catastrophic. I never thought that I would find an F1 game, a Codemasters F1 game, that I enjoyed this much on a wheel. But you know what? I think I might start doing some online racing in this. I think I might actually get into this. This is really fun. I mean, we'll see what it's like when I start getting a bit more used to it and hopefully start pushing the difficulty up, trying to go faster. I know that a lot of the time in a sim, the issues arise when you start cranking that difficulty and really pushing the cars closer you are to the limit. The more warts you start to see, not sure third is great through there. I don't really have the confidence with the right foot. Am I boxing this lap? I wasn't paying attention. Didn't say. I did it and I just wasn't paying attention. Oh no. Where the track drops away there, it's very easy to just catch it inside front. But what I definitely like is that you can catch an inside front without massively understeering off the track. And just because it starts to under-rotate, that's not the line, just because it starts to under-rotate doesn't mean that it will fully lock up and ruin the tyre. Which, I don't know, I felt like the lockups were sometimes a bit too... Ooh, Bottas has had a big problem there.
Okay, clear. Safety car deployed.
Safety
car has been deployed.
Right, so we've pitted, the safety car's ending. We've pitted for our new tyres, so we don't have to pit again. We're in 4th place by Albon, due to all the retirements and things. So let's see what happens when it goes green. Can we get the jump on the AI? No, we can't. It was a terrible reaction from me.
Green flag.
It was really late.
Teammate by 3.7 seconds.
Oh, I'm not sure I can go wide there. We might have just opened ourselves up to Vettel behind. No, he's not quite next to us. Oh no. Oh lord. Okay, our tyres are very cold, very cold. Okay, we managed to stay ahead of Vettel. That was the most important thing. I want to try and move forwards. If we can get Lando Norris another podium, that would be just wonderful, wouldn't it? Sorry, my concentrated face is probably on right now. Right then, here we go. Let's try and get some good laps in. Let's try and catch Albon.
Hamilton has the lead.
Of course Hamilton has the lead. Bit of an under-rotation into turn 1. That's what I mean though. You can under-rotate it and it doesn't instantly lock up and kill you. It's just when the track drops away I'm losing so much front tyre grip, but that's okay. Alright, we can really keep with them through that first sector. So I just need to nail these ones as well. Concentrated face is real. Oh, I'm not very good at these games. That whole middle section is not my strong suit. Okay, we're not too bad on the second to last corner now, so at least we have a run onto the straight. Oh, we still don't have DRS, I forgot. I went for the DRS button then.
DRS has been enabled.
Now DRS is enabled.
is now enabled.
Okay. Very easy to outbrake yourself into turn one because it's so banked. You think, oh yeah, I can carry loads of speed through there. But you actually can't. It's tighter than it looks. I must say I'm loving the new banked corners at Zandvoort. Zandvoort's always been a pretty fun track, but I think they really bring it to life. The last corner at the end of the track doesn't make as much of a difference as I thought it would. Okay, we're dropping back to Eldon, and maybe it's because I'm talking. The concentrated face fell off, and now I'm losing time. And Vettel's right up behind us. This is terrible. Just terrible. Yeah, get out of here, Vettel. Just a rush of his tyres. Still good on rich mix. Trying to use as much of that fuel that I managed to save during the safety car as possible. Who knew? Absolutely nothing happened whatsoever. We'll just, you know, normally go through this long right-hander as we do every single lap with no issues. I do really like the replay feature. I mean, obviously, if I wanted to be super immersed and do this super seriously, then I wouldn't be using it. I think in a career mode, I try not to use it unless I do something really stupid that's just annoying me and it ruins my fun. But I think that's something that these games are all about, is just having as much fun as possible. And not being one gear too high and ruining your last sector. And then getting overtaken by Sebastian Vettel in a shoebox.
We're starting to catch the car in front, but we need to look after the tyres. We won't be making another pit stop.
I don't think we are catching the car in front, to be honest. At least we won't be with that kind of driving. But yeah, these games are not designed to be a super serious simulation. I know that there's a lot of people who take them very seriously, and that's perfectly fine. You know, the esports series, I think, is a really good almost ambassador for sim racing, I guess. Because even though I don't necessarily rate the physics of the games all that highly in terms of sims, although this one is much better than it has been before, I think you know, that series is presented well, and it's really Seb.
There's 3 laps.
Really Seb. That's another reason why I use the instant replays. So let's just go back to there, and this time not get killed by Sebastian Vettel. Go away, Seb. You can't overtake here. I mean, I did leave a gap on the inside because I was taking a different line, but you know, no human player would have ever gone for that gap. I think that's just, you know, that's just racing against AI, isn't it? And it's worse when you're in faster cars like this. You're more likely to get taken out by an AI when you're driving a Formula 1 car than you are if you're driving like a Ginetta or something. Or an MX-5. It's just the nature of going this fast. And especially when, like me, you are right at the limit of your capacity as a human being. We are currently witnessing the edge of my cognitive ability, and unfortunately it involves probably getting overtaken by Sebastian Vettel, but oh well. If I can hold on to 4th, I will be very pleased.
Gap to car in front is 2.7
I think we've had decent pace all race. Okay, last lap. Last lap? Yeah, last lap. Let's go. We've broken the toe.
Final lap of the race.
That was bad.
There's only 1 lap of fuel remaining.
That was really bad. But I think we can keep it in rich all the way to the end, which is what we like to see.
We advise moving to mix 2, fuel to mix 2.
That was almost a disaster. Right, we're going to move it down to standard just for this bit. No, Seb. No, Seb. No, Seb. Oh no, I hit him. Oh no, I hit him again. Seb, no. Oh no. Oh, don't say that he's got us on the last lap. Come on, little McLaren. Come on, little McLaren. Come on. Come on. Oh.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
I'm so sorry, Lando. Anyway, I think the point of this video really is this game's great fun. I'm really having a great time with it, and I think I'm actually gonna carry on driving this game. I think I'm going to use the multiplayer. It's got a rating system and, you know, ranked playlists and things. I think I'm actually going to use them, which I never have before, and I guess that's just a testament to how much better these games drive now with a wheel than they used to. It is an incremental improvement, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that F1 2020 is some massive change from F1 2019. They're very similar, but those tweaks here and there, a bit of force feedback tweaking, a little bit of physics changing, the tracks seem to be high quality. I could swear I read something about laser scanning, but don't quote me on that, although I know that some of them are still a bit dodgy looking. Austria, for example, I don't think that looked quite right to me. But anyway, yeah, generally big improvement. And the career mode's pretty cool as well, so if you enjoy that sort of thing, and if you want to drive F1 cars all the time, F1 2020 might not be a bad buy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to, and hopefully I will see you all next time.